I had a great time at this year's Cinegear at Warner Brothers Studios in Burbank. I got to hang out with John Roche and Andrew Locke, hit a bunch of parties, and meet a lot of new people and old friends. The three of us were on 2 panels together at the Aputure booth, links below. And I had the opportunity to interview both John and Andrew separately at the Nanlux booth. Unlike last year, I didn't capture much footage myself, but I did nab this short bit at the Kino Flo booth. I'm recording on low-end gear, but I'm showing off high-end gear. Here is a clever way to understand how synchronized lighting and camera ghost frame processing can be used to record multiple frames at the same time.
Hi there, I'm Frieder Hochheim, founder of Kino Flo Lighting Systems. We are at Cinegear 2024. We have a display going on here which is illustrating subframes. Subframes is becoming very important to understand when it comes to trying to do multi-camera on a virtual production wall. Up until now, it's been very difficult to do multi-camera on virtual production because each camera has its own frustum or its own field of view, and you can't actually cross the two. So by going to subframe, this allows multi-camera on a virtual production. So what is subframe? Well, you have to consider that at 30 frames a second, a single frame can be subdivided into multiple subframes. And so in this case, we're illustrating a day scene and a night scene. The day scene is synchronized with our mimics, which are operating at 30 kilohertz, so they can synchronize to a slice of a frame. So the mimics are pulsing to give a daylight illumination, and they're pulsing to give a night illumination, all at the same time within a nanosecond of each other. All this is being recorded on a Red Raptor X, which is capable of recording 2 subframes at the same time. So this is quite a revolution when it comes to virtual production. All of this is operating on Megapixel's Helios processor, and the technology that this is based on is called Ghost Frame. So this is really a way of just trying to illustrate what it is to have a subframe and how it can apply to virtual production on today's virtual production stages.
Now, just to reiterate, the setup here showing a night and day scene being captured simultaneously is not about how to shoot a day and night scene at the same time, but rather to show the ability of this system to capture multiple views of the same scene at the same time. In this case, there's just one camera capturing 2 very different lighting scenarios and 2 different backgrounds. But if you had multiple cameras, you could ensure that each camera saw a background that fit that camera's angle and focal length. Each camera would see its own properly framed perspective. And not only that, you could also dial in slightly different lighting for those different camera angles. Each camera would be captured on a different layer, so to speak. As a system, the Helios coordinates the camera with the lighting and the background video wall to keep it all in sync. The industry uses the word slices, but in my mind, I like layers because it's like a nonlinear editor when you bring in a multicam project. They're all on top of each other. Now, people do like to point out the high cost of the system's components, but it's already being shown on set that when the smoke clears, a system like this can actually save a production substantial money over other less sophisticated systems. I'm excited to see where this goes, so I wanted to share it.
Thanks for watching.
Here are some more random clips from Cinegear.
It's an iPhone app. So what we do is actually
and then talk a little bit about what's going on.
All right. So he's inside the model. He's not just in front of it on the green screen. We could actually, it uses depth to find where he's at, and it'll place the video playing of him where it should be.
And how are you using LiDAR?
The LiDAR is doing tons of work. So not only is it positioning exactly where he is, into the model. It's keeping track of where I am in the world.
That's what your app is doing. What's the app? Is that Lightcraft?
That's Lightcraft.
And
Yeah, everything's happening on the phone that you're seeing. Nothing's being fed back.
so you're recording to this and everything.
Yeah,
And is this your app? The whole thing there?
yeah. And see how this approximation is? That's if you load in your lens from your camera and you map the lens, and it'll give you an approximation of what your lens is going to look like.
And now you're just using what a
This is a Canon.
Canon, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not running yet, but
So you don't really care about this, maybe the lens, but you're recording it all to your.
well, you can record on both,
Oh,
and this
okay.
will be your tracker.
Ah,
So like if you want to shoot like on a 12K Blackmagic with like PL mount lenses or an anamorphic, we haven't fully tested anamorphic yet, but I'm sure it'll work.
well, pretty cool.
Yeah. So it'll jump the footage.
So tell me, yeah. So the request for the smaller size,
Yeah,
small
small interviews.
Oh, you mean out on location, not in the studio?
No, on
Oh,
location.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Now I
yeah,
get it. Now I get it.
yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
Try. Yeah, it was like, before the steel and so on, it became so bulky and it was not right to work with that. I sent him over some units. It worked. Technically, it worked, but it was changed and bring it down and so on. And then the stock, like a long face, and I was like, I need something. And then I bumped into the thing with the inflatable. Yeah.